What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph! I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Alright, we're coming back to Tool. Yes, indeed, Tool fans, feeling you. Come on now, here we go. This is a request from Joshua Walton and Sid Martin. They both wanted to watch me react to this song from Tool called Push It. Now, to the best of my knowledge, I've never heard this song before. As far as I know, it does not ring a bell. Like I stated in my first Tool video, the only Tool album I ever owned was Undertow. I know all of those songs front to back, but I never bought another album from them, and I think the reason why I never bought an album from them was I didn't want to be let down. Because I enjoyed Undertow so much, I was like, the follow-up albums are never as good as the first. I didn't want to be let down, so I think that's why I never bought any more. But we're getting into it now. From what I understand, this came off the second album, which came right after Undertow, so we'll find out. Let's see, this was posted by Vividly Conquered, and this video has 2.39 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Tool, Push It, Salival, live. Is this live? Cool. Hopefully it is. That'd be nice. Full song HD. Holy hell, 14 minutes almost. Get comfortable, folks. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
We've been trying something a little different this tour. We've been looking at one of our songs from a different angle, under a different light, so we can hopefully kind of see it almost for the first time.
But I haven't heard the original.
We'd like to try that for you tonight. Is that okay?
This is going to be tough for me because I don't have the original. I've never heard the original, so I don't know how close this is going to be to the original. I don't know if I should continue. Oh, no. Look, this is what the requesters wanted. This is what they're going to get. It's going to be rough for me because I've never heard the original song, so I don't know. I don't know how different it's going to be. I have no clue. Oh boy. All right, let's keep going.
We're going to need your help, though. We need your help and your permission. So we need you to find a comfortable space that's not only comfortable, but vulnerable. I want you to shut your eyes and go there, and we'll meet you on the other side.
It's got that 3 against the 4 feel. Now, I don't know if they're doing 2 measures of 3 or a measure of 6. It's either 3/4 or 6/4. I'm not sure which, but they got the 3 or the 6, depending on how I want to look at, against the 4 of the ride. I love that. I love it when bands do that. I love that 3 against the 4 feel. So many bands have done it. Every single time I've heard a band do it, I love it. I instantly love it. So interesting. Very minimal usage of cymbals, and not even drums. Just the ride. It's just, I don't even know if that's the ride though. I think that might be a crash that is just really up high on the bell on. It doesn't sound like a typical ride, but it's just there to 1, 2, on the 3, on the 4s. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3. He's on the downbeat of every measure, but it's going against the 3, and that's why I'm loving that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, but the cymbal's doing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's that 4 against the 3. Love it. I absolutely love it. Let's keep going here. That was interesting. They came to an end of the phrase. They faded, and as they're fading, the drums come in with a whole new feel. So they completely switched the feel within the song, coming out of a single phrase with a fade. Not done very often. Very jazz. That's very much like a jazz thing that, like a lot of like fusion jazz does, but you don't hear that very often in rock music. So this is interesting. That's an interesting approach. Let's keep going here. changing again. This song is full of changes. Full of changes. Not just in feel, but in chordal structure, direction, structure. This song is just, I can't even say evolving, because the changes are happening so quickly. I hesitate to use the word evolving. It's just changing, like on the fly, rapidly. I mean, look, I understand everything's planned out, but it's like they'll start a new feel and they'll go for about 16 measures and then whoop, complete change. It's not subtle either. That's the thing. Like, most of the changes that are happening, they're not subtle. They're instant and they're sudden. So, but here's the thing. You would think doing it that way, it would be distracting. It's not. Because the way it's happening, despite the fact that it's sudden, despite the fact that it's instant, despite the fact that it's an instant change, it blends really well into what comes next. And it's all smooth. And it all makes sense. The songwriting from these guys is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. As a bass player, I like what the bass player is doing. I can hear the bass coming through. Clear as a bell on this, by the way. Doing a lot of intricate not melodic, counter melody work. A lot of fifths, a lot of minor thirds. But he's doing a lot of that minor third to root to minor fifth to root to minor third to root to minor fifth to no, there's no such thing as a minor fifth. Minor third to root, fifth to root, minor third to root, fifth to root. He just keeps going back and forth with that type of a pattern. Really cool. Very, very cool. Mater's vocals are coming through loud and clear on this. And for me to sit here and say that Mater's, able to hold and sustain a note, that's just repetitious. I mean, everybody knows he can do that. And it sounds great. I mean, what he's doing is amazing. And he is doing everything I just said. He is sustaining the notes. No vibrato needed to cover any imperfections. He holds it, and it's clear, clean, right on pitch. So there you go. Anyway, let's keep going here. Let's see where this takes us. Pattern. Maynard's vocals there really showed off, which was nice. I like that pattern he's doing. He's going so he's going 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. Going, that's really interesting. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. That's and then he goes back down to the 4, down to the 3, and back up to the 5 to resolve. It's interesting. It's a really interesting vocal pattern, but more important than that, it's very tricky. Whenever you're jumping integers and you're doing arpeggios, which is what technically this is, it's an arpeggio. 1, 2, 4, 5. There's a jump, and then 7, 8. It's not easy to do, man. It really isn't. That takes some skill. That takes some serious skill to hit it on pitch the way he's doing it. Yeah, I'm not surprised he could do it. I'm not shocked at all that he can do it. I'm not surprised at all. But it's still fun to hear him do it, though. So, nicely done there. Let's keep going. That whole section, he stayed in the time signature. The time signature should never change. It's still 6/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It never stopped. But he's changing his subdivisions up to be straight 4. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And had the accent on the offbeats to help set it up so that it sounded completely different. Like, it sounded like he changed time signatures. He actually didn't. He maintained, because he came right back to it and exited that right back into the 6/4 again. Perfectly, seamlessly. Dear Lord. I know I've reacted to him drumming before, but Danny Carey is just a phenomenal drummer. Seriously underrated. I can tell. I mean, a lot of people are telling me he's jazz trained. I can tell. I can absolutely tell he's jazz trained. Same as me. I'm jazz trained as well. When you're jazz trained, you can tell when other musicians are jazz trained too. When people pointed it out, I really started listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, he is. He absolutely is. Anyway, let's keep going here. Let's see if we can. I don't know if I'll finish it without pausing again, but I'm going to try. Let's see what happens.
myself away. And you as well, my dear. When I say I might be like a sci-fi snake, you minimize my movement anyway. I must persuade you another way.
Eyes cut out.
Pushing, shoving, pushing, shoving, pushing me. There's no love in staring down the hole again. Hands are on my lap again. Survival is more than friend. Share about a woman gone. Oh yeah. Remember who will love you. If I claw your fucking throat away. It would ain't no other way. It would ain't no other way.
And the way they end it. Only 6? Jesus. That's not me clapping. I don't know who that was clapping, but it wasn't me. I'm too stunned to clap right now. Man, that's good stuff. Wow. A lot happening there. A lot happening there. Well, there you go, folks. That was Tool with Push It. A live performance. Apparently, this is a different... This wasn't really Push It. It was Push It, but it was like an alternate take on the original song. They said at the beginning of the performance they were going to take the song in a different direction, so... I guess we're going to go with that. Alright, so this was a request from Joshua Walton and Sid Martin. Okay. This was tough because I've never heard the original, and then they said that this isn't exactly the original. They're taking a different spin on it, so that made it a little tougher for me. So I can only base my score on what I heard. I can't make any kind of a comparison, and I'm not going to make any kind of a comparison before everybody starts saying, you need to do a reaction to the original. No, that's not how this works. This was the link that was provided. This was the request that was provided. This is the request that I did. I do not have any interest in doing a reaction to the original. Now, will I go listen to the original on my own? Yeah, I probably will. So, for my own curiosity, just to sate my own curiosity. But I'm not going to do a reaction to the original. No, you should have done that in the first place. Anyway, on a scale of 1 to 10, this one was tough, man. I gave it some thought. I gave it a lot of thought, actually. I'm still thinking. No, I'm gonna stop thinking. I'm gonna stick with the score I came up with. I'm gonna give this a 9.2. Yep, 9.2. I feel great with that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Let me just get it out of the way, okay? Did this blow my mind? Yes, it did. It did. There was so much happening in the song, and there's no way that I'm going to be able to remember every single thing that blew my mind. So I'm just going to say, as a general overall, the song writing, the song execution, it blew my mind. Lots of changes. Lots of feel changes. Now, here's the funny thing. The time signature never actually changed from what I could tell. It stayed in 6/4 like the entire song. But the syncopations and the rhythmic patterns kept evolving and changing. But the tempo never changed. And the time signature actually never changed either, from what I could tell. So that's brilliant, man. When you're able to make it sound like, with your changing in syncopations, especially when they're in unison, drums, bass, guitar, all hitting the same syncopated patterns, it can make it sound like there's been a change in the time signature, even though there wasn't. But because they're syncopating so well and so seamlessly, it makes it sound like it was, but it actually wasn't, because every time they would come out of their little runs, it came right back into the downbeat of 1 based on 6/4. So the 6/4 time signature never actually changed, and the tempo never actually changed, despite the fact that it sounded like a few times it sped up and then slowed down. Nope, that's all syncopation work, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. It kept the song going. Guys, that was a 14-minute song, okay? 14 minutes for me to sit here and listen to a song I should normally fall asleep and doze off. I didn't. I know I closed my eyes a few times, but I didn't actually doze off. I was doing what people were telling me to do and listen more to the song and try to fall into it, or as the Tool fans, spiral down into it or spiral out into it or whatever. I tried doing that. I tried listening to it, and all it did for me was distract me and get me more into what was happening. So, kind of good, kind of bad. I love the bass tone from the bass player on this. I really do. He's got a great tone. He's getting a great way of getting that. He's got the low end there, but the high end is more present, but the low end is still there, and it's a great smile curve. Not a perfect smile curve. It's like, here's the low end, here's the high end, but here's the middle end. It's like down here, so it's got like a swooping smile curve, like, and then a little more for the high end. So very cool bass tone. The pattern of the bass player, like I said, I was talking about earlier, the going between the major third and the minor third, back to the root, up to the 5, back to the root, minor third, root, 5, root, minor third, root, 5, root. Very cool. Helped keep the song moving. Guitar playing, as I'm starting to see in Tool, not very rhythmic, unless they're doing unison lines, like unified syncopated patterns. Then he gets very rhythmic, but for the most part, it's very ambient. It's very over the top. It kind of fills out the top end with color, and it's brilliant. I wonder if every Tool song's like that. I have no idea. I guess we'll have to find out as I keep watching more Tool songs or doing more Tool reactions. The drumming, don't even ask me to analyze his drumming ever again. My brain still hurts from the last one I did. His drumming is phenomenal. I mean, you can tell he's jazz trained by the way his approach to every pattern and every hit of every single drum. There's a different attack on every single hit, and that is pure touch. That is pure feel, and that comes from jazz training. Everyone I've ever talked to who has ever asked me, how do I get into music? What should I study? And I tell them the same things. You should start with piano, okay? Start with piano, learn your theory, learn your scales, learn your arpeggios, learn your chords, learn your time signatures, your key signatures, learn how transitions work. Then, once you've got a really basic, like you spend 3 to 4 years on piano, okay? And I mean intense. I don't mean going to piano classes once a week and practicing for an hour a week. No, that is not what I mean. I mean intense piano. Taking lessons 2 to 3 times a week and spending at least 3 to 4 hours a week practicing. Minimum. The more you practice, the better. After you spend those 3 to 4 years playing piano, then pick which instrument you want. But whatever instrument you pick, if you really want to be able to branch out and be able to cover a broad spectrum of music, make sure you get training in jazz. Because if you can play jazz, you can play anything. Anything. And I mean that sincerely, because I have done sub work and contract work for pop artists. I have done contract work for R&B artists. I have done contract work and sub work for country artists, along with rock and metal. I've even, believe it or not, I've even done a couple of shows for hip hop. Now, I don't understand the first thing about hip hop. All they gave me was, a sheet, a sheet with chord changes on it, and I went, oh, okay, that's easy enough. Slashes from jazz. If you learn how to play jazz music, you can literally play any other style of music out there, and you'll be able to do it pretty seamlessly. Danny's drumming is just on a whole nother level of jazz, man. I can hear the jazz influence, but it's definitely not, he's not playing jazz. I mean, he's playing rock. But his ideas and his syncopations and his subdivisions are just otherworldly. Like Neil Peart, otherworldly. Fantastic job. I absolutely dig him as a drummer. Maynard's vocals, he has some great lines. He has some great riffs. I love the pattern, the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 4, 3, 5. I love that pattern that he did. That's hard, man. It is hard. It is hard. It is hard. Great clarity, great power, okay, when I say power, great power usage, knowing when to really project and knowing when to be more subdued in context to the song. So he has a great understanding of his voice and how to use it, and more appropriately, the appropriate times to use it in certain ways. He has great feels in there. So yeah, fantastic job. Did this blow my mind? Yeah, it did. Absolutely. Do I have any complaints about this? I have 2 complaints, but they have nothing to do with this. The complaint number 1, I really kind of wish I'd heard the original version first so I can make a comparison, but too late now. Too late now. The other complaint I had, and this is just me, I don't know how long the original song was. I mean, the original song may have been, 5 minutes for all I know. Whenever you take a song and you do a variation on it, it gives you a lot of freedom to take it longer than wanted. I don't know how long the original is. All I know is this, and this was a little long. 14 minutes. It was cool. I enjoyed it. It was like, okay, 14 minutes. Yikes. Which unfortunately makes for like a 34, 35 minute long video, unfortunately. But hey, what can you do? Look, I'm going on what the requesters asked for. The requesters asked for this. This is what they got. So hope y'all enjoyed it. 9.2 final score. I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you'll enjoy the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you did enjoy the show and you would like to see more videos like this, feel free to join the fan base by clicking on that button down there. Yeah, you know the button I'm talking about. Click on that button, join the fan base, and you become one of us. Now, for whatever reason, if you don't feel like clicking on that button, that's okay. I still respect you. Also, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. It will do me a world of good, and it will do you absolutely no harm whatsoever. Finally, if you guys do join the fan base, you will find a bell down there that you can click on. By clicking on that bell, it'll keep you up to date on everything happening with this channel, including when new content gets dropped. So, if you want to stay in the know, click on the bell, and you'll stay in the know. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Until next time, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.